So when I teach Beast in Show for multiple tables at the same time, and I can't be pointing at things on specific tables, this is how I would set up every single table so that they're all exactly the same. We have the marketplace, the adventure cards next to the power cards. Your pet show is over here. Your 4 different people kennel boards, your 4 different baby pets, and their meeples underneath them for the matching pets. Also, these stacks, I would make sure all of them are stacked exactly the same with baby pet on top, then their reference card, and then their whole entire regular hand of 10 cards. Just because that's how we're going to talk about it when we talk to them. When I start, I guess I'll just do a full speak through of the rules now, and you can use it, or you can listen to it, or you can think about it however you want. So, I always start by saying, all right, is everybody ready to play Beast in Show? And then we're going to do a little intro first. And I always go, Beast in Show, welcome to Beast in Show, the magical monster pet show deck builder game you've all been waiting for. In this game, we are all going to play as a fantasy person who lives in a fantasy world, and you work a ho-hum, boring old day job. But that day job is not your true passion. Your true passion is taking pets to pet shows, obviously. But these aren't any normal pets. These are monsters and dragons and cryptids from all over the world. How we're going to do that is we're going to hire people to work inside of our kennel. We're going to buy pets to take to pet shows. And this is a deck builder, so we're going to use power cards to increase the power of our hand and hopefully quit that day job and become full-time kennel operators. Sound good? And then everyone goes, yeah, that sounds great. All right, so the first thing you need to do when we play Beast in Show is you need to choose what character you would like to play. Off to the side are kind of the longer, skinnier kennel board cards that you can see. There is a Pixie Executioner, a Minotaur Bard, a Gnome Potion Maker, and an Orc Healer. Everybody at the table, please, right now, choose which character you would like to play. Then you wait for everyone to choose their character. Everyone grabs their character. Take that character board and place it right directly in front of you. On your character board, as you can see, there is a black box off to one side that says pets. That's what we're going to put, where we're going to set out pets that we put into our kennel. And then there's a kind of a pink maroon box on the other side that says people. And that's where we're going to set out people that we place into our kennel. People and pets that are down there in that lower part of our kennel board are considered in your kennel for all in-game text. That usually becomes important at some point. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to have you do is we're going to choose your baby pet. Because we all know that the reason that you started doing pet shows is because you got that first one perfect, beautiful baby pet, and you went full Pokemon, and now you got to catch them all, right? So let's start by getting you your first baby pet. At the bottom down there, underneath kind of that marketplace center, you guys can probably see that there are 4 baby pets. There's Mandy the octopus, Sniper the owl, E the baby dragon, and Brucey, the baby deer. Everybody right now at your table, please choose which baby pet you'd like to take. Take the whole entire stack of cards underneath that baby pet with you, as well as the 8 meeples underneath it. So then you wait, everybody chooses which stack that they want to take and which pet they want to have. And then you say, all right, that top card is your baby pet. Let's take that baby pet and let's get you your first pet in your kennel. So take that baby pet and put it down on the right side of your kennel board, right next to that black text box that says pets. Yay, we all have a pet in our kennel. That's great. Let's talk about your pet for just 1 second. The way we're going to win pet shows is using what we like to call the B scores, because alliteration is fun. So we're going to use beauty, brains, and brawn to win pet shows. The next card in your hand is a little reference card. It has 2 different sides. One side is colorful and one side is black and white for all of the iconography on all of the cards in the game. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm one of the designers. Or you can just reference that little card in your hand. As you can see on that little card, if you look on the colorful side, there is a pink flower for beauty. There's a yellow brain for brains. And there is kind of a muscly arm that is blue for brawn. These are the B scores that we're going to use to win pet shows. If you look at your little baby pet, you're going to see that they have a couple of these scores, maybe a couple brains and a couple brawn. The baby dragon has one of each. So take a look at your baby pet and kind of see what kind of scores you have. And we're going to use those scores and take them to pet shows. The pet show that everyone is going to today is called the Classic Pet Show. It's already sitting out. It's that large square card off to the side next to, again, that kind of center marketplace, if you will. So if you can now take a look at that Classic Pet Show. Pet shows have to be won in a specific way. So right now, in order to win a pet show, you can only win the first column. So right now, to win a pet show, you either need 6 beauty to win confirmation, 6 brains to win obedience, 6 brawn to win pulling, 3 beauty, 3 brains, and 3 brawn to win agility, or 5 of any 2 scores, so 5 beauty and 5 brains, or 5 brawn and 5 brains, 5 of any 2 to win the talent show. So right now, that is what we need to win a pet show. As you can see, your little baby pet, he can't win a pet show by himself, but that's okay. We're going to build him a little team and get him some friends and help him win some pet shows. Sound good? Okay, so we have our pet. And we know that the next card in our hand was that iconography card. The next 10 cards in your hand, the last 10 cards, this is your starting deck. Everyone in the game has an exact same starting deck. There's a couple of silly cards in there. Earn a treat, learn a trick, go to the groomer. Those each have a little bump to help you have beauty, brains, or brawn. The rest of those are a day job. We all know that if we go to work, what do we win? We make money. So that little green circle off to the side, that's Borbucks. That's the money that we use inside of this game. That's the money icon. Money that's on the side of a card is always in-game kind of economy that you grow as you get in the game. So right now, if you have a day job card in your hand, you have 1 Borbuck that you're going to use to spend in this marketplace to try to buy bigger and better and cooler cards as we go through the game. So the way Beast in Show is played is pretty classic deck builder rules. You're going to take the whole deck of cards and flip it face down. Give that thing a shuffle. After you've given it a good shuffle, you're going to set it next to you. This is your draw pile. And you're going to want to save room right next to it for a face-up discard pile as the game goes. But right now, what you're going to do is take that draw pile and you're going to draw 5 cards. Keep those cards secret. There is some attacking in this game, so you got to be careful. So draw your first 5 cards and take a look at them. Keep them secret from your team, from the people sitting next to you, though. All right. So you probably have some amount of money in there. I know you do. And then some number of maybe those other cards that go to the groomer or other kinds of cards. The way Beast in Show is played is in a full-on use it or lose it deck builder style. So on your turn, you're going to play all of the cards that are in your hand currently. There is no immediate take that kind of stuff that can happen except for protection for yourself. So on your turn, you can full on feel free to just lay out the cards in front of you and do all of the cool things. Spend all your money, do all your cool icons, everything else. Right now, it's basically just money and the beauty, brains, and brawn scores. And then at the end of your turn, you're going to discard your whole entire hand into your discard pile, draw a brand new hand of 5 cards, and then it passes to the next person's turn. Okay? Like I said, make sure you always have your hand of cards in front of you, though, because there is some attacking in this game, and so sometimes someone might make you lose cards before you get to your turn. So on your turn, you might not actually have 5 cards. You might only have 3 or 2 or even 1 card left in your hand. But no matter what else happens on your turn, you're going to play all the cards you currently have left at the end of a round, play all of them, discard them all, and then draw up to a new hand of 5 cards. Sound good? I usually pause to make sure that nobody has any questions about specific deck player rules. Most people always know, of course, how that all works. Every once in a while you have someone who straight up has never played a deck builder before. If they have someone at their table who is clearly helping them and explaining the rules to them, as long as they're not doing it wrong, I always just let them. Just let them rumble. Because if they can have someone at their table who understands deck builders and is clearly understanding the rules you're giving them, that is better than you having to babysit them, because that person can babysit them. Always better. Okay. So Now, as you're looking through your hand of 5 cards, the major thing that we're going to do, especially right away inside of this game, is buy things from the marketplace. In the marketplace, you probably notice that there's 3 large stacks of cards on the end, and that there's 3 rows of cards, and each row of cards has a different colored border. There's a pink border, a black border, and a white border. This is the marketplace, and there's always these 9 cards in the marketplace. There is a row of pink bordered people cards. That is always 3 available. There is a row of black bordered pet cards with 3 available. And there's a row of white border power cards. People, pets, and powers. I told you, I really, really like alliteration. So those are the 3 kinds of cards that we're going to have inside of the game. We're going to talk about all 3 different kinds and how they interact inside of the game. And then we're going to get started.
Adventuring.
We always talk about adventuring at some point. I always forget about adventuring, and I also always forget about how the game ends. If you forget about how the game ends, I honestly don't think it's a super big deal, because sometimes people get ruled out, and after they've done a round or 2, it's pretty easy to interrupt them and say, wait, I forgot to tell you how the game ends. Does anybody want to know how the game ends? And they all go, oh yeah, we also don't know how the game ends. So that's a pretty easy thing to skip, even if you just feel like it's going long and people are looking fancy, and do some time in the middle of the game. But I always forget that, and I always forget adventuring cards. Maybe you forget adventuring cards. Huh?
Kennel board powers.
Kennel board powers we haven't talked about yet either. We'll do that. I always do kennel board powers at the end because they don't make any sense until you have that. Although I didn't say this, make sure when you're setting up that you put all of the kennel board powers up, face up, because people will grab things, and if they're all face down the wrong way, you'll make yourself crazy, because some people will have them and some people won't. So try to make sure they're all face up when you're resetting between rounds. Okay, moving forward. Okay, so we just talked about people, pets, and powers. Okay, so on your turn, the major thing we're doing is spending money. So let's start with talking about pet cards. Pet cards are in your middle row. We're going to talk about pet cards first because you have a baby pet. You kind of already know how pet cards work. But this is how we're going to do this. Any card you buy from the marketplace, no matter what it is, has a couple of things that are all in common. At the top of the card, in the top right-hand corner, is a cost. The cost of the card, this is a one-time cost that you're going to pay using the cards from your hand. So right now, using the cards, your little day job cards, to purchase the card from the marketplace. Any card that you purchase from the marketplace is always, no matter what kind it is, going to go into your discard pile. However, as they come up into your hand on your turn inside of your hand, the 3 different cards act very differently. So I said we were going to start with pet cards. A pet card, when it comes up into your hand, a pet card is going to go and join your baby pet on the right side of your kennel. So instead of staying in your hand and only being able to use it on that turn and having to discard it, it's going to stay out and join your baby pet to start increasing that amount of beauty, brains, and brawn that you have. As you can see, that is going to be the fastest way to get you into winning one of those pet shows. Now, beware though, pets are picky. Inside of the game, look at that top banner. The top banner has a color and it also has a different symbols on it. There is a blue ocean type. There is a pink forest type. There is a gray dragon type. And there is a yellow flying type. These are the 4 kingdoms that we're going to use inside of the game. And pets are picky. Pets will not work with pets from other kingdoms while they're in your kennel. So if you have started with a water type pet inside of your kennel and in your hand you draw a dragon, you can't put that dragon into your hand. At least not yet. It's not going to be worthless, I promise. I'll tell you how that works. Let's say that you do have a water pet in your hand, and let's say that that water pet is strong enough to win the pulling competition that you can see on the pet board off to the side there, that classic pet show. This is how winning a pet show works. When you win a pet show, you're going to, it has to be on your turn. And on your turn, when you win a pet show, you're going to take one of your little meatballs that match your baby pet, and you're going to set it on top of the competition that you win, marking that you have won that pet show. So if you're going to win pulling, you would put it on that 6 pulling competition. Each pet show can only be won once, and they have to be won in kind of consecutive order, but they can be won by anyone. So now that the 6 pulling competition is completed and won, now nobody else can win that show, but anybody can now try for that 8 pulling competition. Now look at the top of that classic pet show board. That top row says 10, 15, and 20. Those are kudos. The whole point of this game is a victory points game. You are trying to get victory points to win the game. This pulling meeple that is now on this pulling competition, he's now worth 10 kudos at the end of the game. As you can see, the harder shows are worth more points as we go through the game. Now take a look at your baby pet. At the very bottom of your baby pet, there is a kudos symbol. That is also how you're going to win kudos. Every card that you purchase throughout the game, people, pets, and power cards, some of them all have different quantities of kudos that you're also going to add up at the end of the game to see who wins the game. So that is the whole point of the game. So you want to win pet shows, and you want to accumulate those kudos also inside of your hand. So now that I have marked that I have won a pulling competition, the next thing that we're going to do is any pets that helped me win that pet show are now going to retire. You see the little rocking chair symbol on your kennel board right above the word pets on that right side? That is the retirement symbol. Once a team of pets has won a pet show, they're champions. They have done a great job. They are finished. They don't need to prove themselves anymore. They're going to retire. You're going to take all of those pets and flip them face down, sideways, up next to that rocking chair symbol. And you won't see them again until the end of the game for end game scoring. Now, I said you're going to take all of your pets and retire all of them, but that's not quite true. Take a look at your baby pet again. Do you see how in the bottom left-hand corner, he's got a little rocking chair and it's got a little slash through it? Your baby pet doesn't retire. Your baby pet is a champion. She's your buddy. She's perfect. She goes to every pet show that you feel like taking her to. So you know what? Your baby pet is not going to retire. But pet shows are hard. And your baby pet needs to go take a nap. So once you are done winning a pet show, if your baby pet helped you win that pet show, you have to take care and put her into your discard pile. And she will come back through your deck, and you'll see her again, and you'll be able to add her to a new team of pets. Your baby pet also doesn't have a kingdom type. So even though Mandy is an octopus, Mandy is not specifically only going to work with other water pets. Mandy is loyal to you. They're your baby pet. Your baby pets can be added to any team regardless of kingdom. Remember I originally said that if you had a dragon in your hand, you can't add them because you already had water kingdom pets in your kennel? Well, that's not true anymore. We've retired that water pets. So now you would be able to start a new set of pets with a new kind of kingdom if you felt like it. Make sense? Everybody understand how pet shows work? I always say that right there because it's important to make sure that everyone does for real understand how pet shows work. Okay. Now that we know how that is how pets work, let's talk about the other kind of slightly more complicated card in your card pile. That is the pink bordered people cards. Now, like I said, any card that you purchase in the marketplace always goes immediately into your discard pile. However, once you draw a person into your hand, in your hand, your person card actually doesn't do you any good. In order to use your person card, you have to have them in your kennel. So any people that you have in your hand are immediately going to go into your break room. Do you see how there is a smaller tab that says break room on the left side of your card above the words people? That is where you're going to put people that you hire from the marketplace. So if a person comes up in your hand, you're going to put them up into your break room immediately. Then on your turn, before you've used any of your people, you can have people in your kennel equal to the number of pets in your kennel. Okay? Because a person isn't going to come to work unless they have a pet to work with. right? So you can only have as many people in your kennel as you have pets. When you want to put a person in your kennel, you're just going to take them out of your break room and slide them down into your kennel right next to that people slot. So if you have 3 pets in your kennel at the beginning of your turn, you can use 3 people on that turn. Now remember, you can hire as many people as you want, and they all go up into your break room to chill, hang out, and gossip about you by the water cooler because you're the boss. But you can only have as many of them activated using their abilities and doing their stuff as you have pets. Sorry, excuse me. Now, the anatomy of those cards, if you look onto it's on the left side, right? Yes. On the left side of those cards, you can see that some of them have beauty, brains, or bronze scores. Those would help you win pet shows. Some of them have a green Borbuck symbol. That is, again, money economy. So instead of only working your day job, these people are creating income for you. So you might be able to, you can use that income on your turn to buy more and more cards from the marketplace, more and more cooler and stronger cards. Also down below, if they have a white text box that has text in it down below, that is an ability that you get every single time that card is in your kennel. So for instance, maybe it says it has some protection on it. Maybe it's going to attack the other team. Maybe it has different effects. You'd have to read those effects and find out what they do. Sometimes those cards have a colored text box underneath the white text box. If it has a colored text box that matches the top banner of the card, so a blue text box down at the bottom on a blue card, that is a text that you only get if you unlock it. How do you unlock that super cool ability? Well, you have to have another card of the same kingdom in play that round. That would be either another pet, person, or card in your hand, so a power card that you played that round that matched the same kingdom. So if I have a water pet and a water person, then I would be able to unlock that bottom text ability. Okay. Otherwise, that text ability you can't use because you don't unlock it that round. Now, speaking of those kingdom abilities, look at the center of your kennel board, your player mat. Your kennel board says Kennel Powers. Right under the words Kennel Powers, you see 2 paw prints and then some Peep Stick figures. What that means is that in your kennel, if you have 2 pets, a person and a pet, or 2 people that have the same kingdom, so 2 water pets, or a water pet and a water person, then you would unlock the water kennel power. Okay, there are 4 different kennel powers there. The Forest Kingdom gives you 2 Borbucks. The Flying Kingdom gives you draw an extra card into your hand, because who doesn't want to play with more cards? The Dragon Kingdom lets you retire a card from your hand or discard. This is kind of the trash feature of the game. You're retiring, you're putting it up in that retired section. It's not going to stay inside of your deck. And keep cluttering up your hands. So that's a good way to quit that day job or get rid of those starter cards. And then the Water Kingdom is attacking. The Water Kingdom says all your players discard a card. So inside of your kennel on your turn, if you have a synergy between kingdoms that unlock inside of your kennel, then that would be how those unlocked. Now, the kennel powers do not unlock with power cards in your hand. So the white border cards in your hand or your yellow border starter cards, those cannot help you unlock kennel powers. That is only for things in your kennel. Okay, do people make sense? Everybody understand how people work? Draw them, they go and discard. They go up into the break room. They move down into the people section on your turn. Yes? Okay. Cool. Perfect. Okay, so the last and only kind of card that we need to talk about before we can get going is the power cards. Those are the white border cards on the bottom of your marketplace. The white border power cards are very similar to the other cards that you've seen, other than that they're never going to end up in your kennel. So the white border power cards, the one-time cost is up in that top right hand corner, and then along that left side of the card, some of them have beauty, brains, or brawn. Some of them are going to have money economy, so they're going to have a Borbuck symbol with money on it that you'd be able to use and spend when you draw the card to help with your money economy. And then just like the people cards, if they have a white text box, that's an ability you get every single time And if it has a colored text box, that's an ability that you only get if you unlock it by having in play, either in your kennel or in your hand, another card of the exact same kingdom type to unlock that super cool power. Next to those power cards is a small stack of blue adventuring cards. The adventuring cards, they're all exactly the same. They are a power card for all like in-game text and rules on cards. So they are considered a power card. They have a blue border to just help you differentiate them from anything else. All of the adventuring cards are the exact same. They all cost 2. They give you 2 money. And then they have a white text box ability that basically you can return it. You can lose your adventuring card, basically like giving up your adventuring contract to do either help clear out the marketplace or retire cards from your hand. Okay, so that's the adventuring card. They're good for if the marketplace is really expensive, or if you just really want to retire cards, or you just don't want to see the marketplace anymore. So those are a good one for that. Any questions about power cards? So as you can see, I always pause between all 3 of them just to make sure that I'm not like, because they kind of build on each other, so I'm not like freaking anybody out. Okay. So assuming that you've answered all the questions anybody has about power cards, usually they don't have any questions about power cards because usually they've asked them with people because they're so similar to people. Other than that, they're easier. So that's good. Okay, so once we've now talked about people, pets, and power cards, so now we are pretty much ready to play the game. Before we get started, there's only 2 more really quick housekeeping things to talk about. Look at the center of your character board, that kennel board that's sitting in front of you. There's kind of a beige text box that says either healer or bard or executioner, whatever your kind of character is. Look at that text box and give it a read. This is a one-time power that you can use one time at any point in time during the game. Can't use it ever again. Once you've used it, you're going to flip over that character board. The other side, spoiler alert, is the exact same thing with no text box on it. So that just shows that that ability has been used and you can't use it ever again. If for some reason you're staring at your board going, I don't have one, flip your card over. There should be a beige text box on the other side and put the beige text box side up in front of you. So this is a one-time ability that hopefully makes sense now that you know the rules of the game. If it doesn't make any sense, you can wave me down and I can tell you a little bit more about what that means here in a second when we get everybody going. The only other thing that you need to know is how the game ends. The game ends in one of 3 ways. Either we flip over the last pet in the pet deck, because you can't win pet shows without pets. So if we flip over the bottom card, the last card in the pet deck, that triggers the end of the game. The next way to trigger the end of the game is if someone runs away with it, it is totally kicking butt, and they place their 8th meeple on the pet show board. So if someone places their 8th meeple on the show board, that immediately triggers the end of the game for happening. The other way for the game to end is if on your classic pet show board, there is only one pet show that has not been won. So if there's only one spot left that you could possibly place a meeple, then the whole entire show ends, okay? We're not going to fill it all the way up. We're going to fill it all the way to 1. So if one of those 3 things happens, then we basically complete the end of the round. So we make sure that everyone has an equal number of turns, and then the game ends. Does anybody have any questions before we get started? And then you let them rumble. That's it. That's how you teach the game. Bam! I still got remember.
How could you forget? It's like in her bones.
It's in my bones. How long did it take?
28 minutes.
28 minutes?